So earlier this month, General Fenton and Assistant Secretary Mayer testified before the committee, and I asked about what lessons SOCOM had learned from our decades of counterterrorism operations in sub-Saharan Africa. And General Fenton largely deferred to AFRICOM, so I'm going to ask you the same question, General Langley. As you know, despite 2 decades of our investment in counterterrorism in Africa and over $3 billion in equipment, training, and logistics, we've actually seen violent extremism increase threefold since 2013. And just in the last year, we saw it increase by 22% and fatalities up by 50%. And just in the Sahel, we saw a 130% increase since 2020 in violence. So I wanted to ask you, what lessons has AFRICOM learned from this, apparent lack of success of our investments in the continent, and how can we take that moving forward as we focus on the region?
Congresswoman, thanks for that, and thanks for your visits on the continent, especially with the CODEL you went on, and that was a result of this blue map that's shown here of our investments on the continent. But getting back to your question. As our engagements with our African partners, as I go from country to country, knowing that it is going to be a partner-led, U.S.-enabled proposition or remedy to their fragile governance. And when they look at their immediate threat, and as you just said, that a number it's really starting to metastasize across from the Lake Chad region. Violent extremist organizations are starting to encroach upon the Gulf of Guinea states. So given that, what my discussions with them is, I asked the question, that's part of my campaign of learning, what is the solution? What is the panacea? And they said responsible governance. Responsible governance is the enduring solution to violent extremist organizations. And they realize that. So just as much as they are buying weapon systems, they want to be able to bolster capacity into their total governments, providing for the people. And as we look at Sheikh Mohammed, President Sheikh Mohammed in Somalia, what story is not really told is how he's turning a lot of the al-Shabaab to laying down their weapons and repatriating them into the Somali government. Those are the good news stories that are not told enough. So, Congresswoman, our African partners get what the solution is. We just need to help them across our whole of government approach to get there.
Well, I appreciate that. I think getting governance right on the continent is going to be key, and I look forward to working together both on this whole of government approach and implementing the Global Fragility Act and making sure we're being very thoughtful about how all of DoD's activities on the continent feed into that good governance. I wanted to ask you about Somalia as well. We are increasing what we're doing there, increasing the tempo. We've recently put troops back in. I just wanted to ask, what is our theory of the case, or how does it end? When can we leave? What are we trying to get to so that we are able to actually not have troops stationed there anymore?
Congresswoman, I'll answer that from an operational perspective. What we're doing to enable President Hassan Sheikh Mohammed and the Somali National Army being able to take the fight to al-Shabaab and turn to and follow that up with being able to bring in the rest of their governance to go out to the outer regions and to the clans that have been turned, and also preventing famine. Preventing effects from climate change. That is just a clear indicator that the campaign by President Hassan Sheikh Mohammed is working holistically. So given that, he is going to turn south and go into some of the regions where there's a stronghold by al-Shabaab. And I think he's going to be able to do that. But we will be with them until our policy changes.
Great.